everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, please make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate your support. So today I have just watched episodes 5 and 6 of What If Season 3. And actually, I think, surprisingly, I think finally we are going somewhere with the show, because I felt in the beginning, the first few episodes, there wasn't much of like anything connecting them. It felt like just almost like just random events, random stories, different types of styles that like Marvel was kind of exploring, like the different what ifs, which I mean, in a way, I guess it's all right, but I really wanted to kind of see more of like that, more of like that emotional connection with like the shows. But I think with episode 5, you do get a little bit of that when Riri was like introduced, and then how there were actually high stakes in this episode. And it was also interesting how it started out on a very morbid and sad sort of theme. Like no matter what she does, she's just always going to fail. It always ends the same. And then all of a sudden, the Watcher takes control, right? The Watcher, he takes action, and then it just changes the outcome of that timeline. So that was interesting, because then we find out that the Watcher is actually also being watched by like 3 other Watchers, and there's a consequence to his actions. So I was like, oh, okay, so I guess here is where the story really starts to get interesting. And then moving on to episode 6, I thought that we would see what happened to like the Watcher, but that really wasn't the case until a bit after the episode. So episode 6, I liked how there was Kate Bishop and then also Shang-Chi, and it was actually quite interesting to see them in like this Wild Wild West kind of style, right? Because I don't think Marvel would ever do like a film that's like in this type of like genre, but it was interesting. But you know what I felt was probably like a missed opportunity was probably a introduction of like Ghost Rider, because they talked about like the ghost train and stuff. So I was thinking, I was like, are we gonna get like Ghost Rider? Like, are we gonna get like a sneak peek of that? But that wasn't the case. I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity. But maybe they will introduce him like later on in the MCU. So then the plot point with this one, I thought it was also quite interesting. I still like how they still keep true to like the character. So for example, in the original Shang-Chi, we know that he did have like a close relationship with like his sister. And so in this episode, they do bring back the sister. And you kind of like see how that dynamic like would play out in this timeline, right? Because like they're both like kind of like different and whatnot. The sister is definitely a lot more, I would say, like I would say she's a lot more like aggressive and like spicy, compared to like Shang-Chi. So it's interesting to see how that play out. And again, it seems like in this timeline, it was like her like thirst for like power that kind of like drove her to her demise. We do see like the Watcher interfering when like the kid was like on the train, and basically he saved the kid. And then so the other 3 Watchers, they came after him later at the end, and it looks like they like punched him out of the timeline, or punched him out of like the 4th wall that he was in. So I think here is where hopefully the things start to get interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, you guys.